Hey y'all, it's Hot Rod. I'm back working on a new project. So I got this 1939 Chevy truck that I've been working on assembling over the past year. And I've taken some artistic liberties of doing things affordably. Maybe not necessarily technically correct for sure, but still affordable. And that's what I'm all about. However, I've got into a thing here where the hood is called the hood lacing that I'm going to replace because I don't want metal on metal banging with my hood. And it goes right down here on the hood and it keeps that from banging on the cowl. And I can't think of a reasonable good fix other than the original product. So here's where I'm going to spend a little bit of time and money. And I want to do this video because I couldn't find anybody online that had a video about this. So I'm new to this, but I'm going to share with you what I have experienced here. So to put the hood lace on, there's a few different designs and styles. One of them has like a J hook apparently, and I think it goes right in here. Mine does not have that, although some says it does, but it doesn't. So mine has these little clips right there, and those are what holds it. And those clips, there is one here and one for the other side. And as you can see, there's a trench there because this has the wire in it, like embedded in the center of it, and it runs down. And one of those clips screws in right here, and that's what pulls it tight. And then follow on down, and then there's a screw-in clip right there on the bottom. So there's 3 clips on each side there, and one on the top on each side. And it appears that they take about a 48-inch piece, and you have to cut it off. And you need to make sure you get the piece with the wire in it, because some of it does not come with the wire, and this does. So anyway, so this truck cab is original, so I do have the piece of wire that actually came off of this. I actually took this off just a few minutes ago, and it follows down here. And I want to show you, in case you wonder how this installs, how the bends on this goes, in case you want to put something new on. You notice how the bend is looped around there, and it bends around to the back. See if I can get that where you can see it. It bends around to the back, and that places right down there, and that's how that goes. And then your clip screws on that, and then the wire follows this groove, comes down. And here, it actually goes behind. If you're looking at the truck here and the front being that way, it actually bends around, and it went around the back side of the screw right there. Okay, and then it goes on down here, and the bottom of it attaches and bends, hold on, like this right here. It bends like that. Sorry, I can't get it in there any better than that. But like that is how it goes. So in case you're wondering, that's the proper way that Chevrolet originally bent those. And I feel very confident that this has never been taken off since it was new. Now, as we go around to the driver's side, it's more of the same. But I don't have the wire that it went in here, but I do have the clips, and it attaches actually here, because your hood clamp attaches here, but it attaches here. Your wire attaches here, and I'd say bends around the same as the other. You come down, you follow down here. There's one there and one here. So my guess at this point, until I get the news, is to attach it here. Or maybe you attach the bottom and run it up and pull it tight, and attach it here and pull it tight, and then put this one in as the last one to help cinch it up even tighter than ever. And that helps to hold it. And remember, the wire should bend to go around the back side of it here. So anyway, in case any of y'all are wondering, this is an actual 1939 Chevy truck cab, because if you'll notice, the 1940 had the step out here that was an inch deeper, and it had a reveal like a step out here. And that mine does not have that. So mine also has the straight up and down like impressions here, whereas the 1940 they were a cross. I mean, like an X. So anyway, so I've got my hood lace here, my new hood lace, and I'm new to this, so I'm learning. But I studied up on it, and I feel like I can give somebody some good advice here. My truck is a 39, like I said, and it had these right here on it, that being one of the originals right there. That being one of the originals. I bought these to go on it, and there's more than enough here to do it. This is actually, they say it's for, there it is, a 1940 through 55. And they say that this actually was the start of the rubber, but I'm just saying, mine had that. I don't think mine had rubber. I think mine had this. So anyway, we're going to use this with the wire on it. And it comes like this on the end, and you cut it off. So I've got one side kind of installed, and I cut about that much off of it. But, so anyway, when I go back, mine had these on the top, the middle, and the bottom. 3 of them on each side. The internet claims it should have these hooks in it. I don't believe mine ever had those. But I ordered them, and I'm going to use them because I do feel they are superior to those. And here's where I feel like it is superior. So I put this on here, and I got that one bent right around there, come up and got it there, and it's as reasonably tight as I can get it. When I get that pull back in position, it'll be pretty good. But I've got my hook in here right now, and as you can see, you got to poke a hole. You got to poke a hole there, and you want your hook to go over the wire. The wire is in the center of that. So I guess you can put it either way you want. I put it like this, so it's pulling it back on that curve. It's pulling it into it. But I guess you can put it either way you want to go. But I had to drill out the hole in this because mine was not big enough for that. It just a little bit. And so I drilled it out. I feel like that will pull it tighter than that screw will, because that's how it gets tight. You put it here and you put it down here, and you get it as reasonably tight as you can get it, okay? And then tighten that up, and when you tighten that up, you pull that in that indention, thereby putting tension on the whole thing and tightening it up. And mine has the wire in the center here, and I found out that the wire is for the cowl setup almost always. And the non-wire would go, if you had an older one, it would go over the front of the hood on the radiator. But mine doesn't use that style like on this. So, and like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm learning. And I felt like, and I feel like at this time, that it was easier to bend the bottom and attach that, and then pull it up and kind of bend it and shape it, and then come up here and figure out and mark the top one and where to cut that. So I felt like it was easier to mark the top and pull it on the top side than it was to attach the top first, pull it down, and then do the bottom. The reason being because this fender right here kind of gets in your way a little bit. So anyway, and since this being the original bend for it, what I learned also is so far is when you bend these, I use a needle nose pliers and put them on here like so, and then bent the wire around the needle nose, because you want a pretty tight loop. Because if you don't get a tight loop and keep this loop right here really close to this rope, what happens is when you put this on it, your loop will be so high that this clip right here will actually be up and expose just the bottom edge of your rope here. And I feel like for sure that should cover it, clamp down on it and cover that. And to do that, you need to have that loop really tight to that rope right there. I will tell you for what it's worth, I ordered two different runs of this. You got to have one run on each side of the truck. So it takes two of these for my truck. And I ordered double what I needed because I kind of messed up. And so I got them both in the mail, and I decided on which one to use after I pulled them out. I thought they would both be identical, and they are not. This is a little bit more of a lighter brown tint, but this is actually has a more slightly more robust, thicker, and just slightly wider. When I mean slightly, I mean probably about 60, 80 thousandths. So it was just barely robust, more robust than the other was. This come from a company out of Ohio. I think it was Muscle Car something, come out of Ohio. And they had the J hooks with this right here. The other that I ordered came out of Oregon, and it was from a place called the Filling Station, and it was more black. It was a nice look, but it wasn't quite as thick as this was. I mean, it was very, very, very close. Maybe like I said, maybe 60 thousandths thinner, but I could feel a difference. And they had, the Filling Station actually had these clips, whereas I didn't see that the place out of Ohio had these clips. So anyway, in case you're wondering, there is a difference in this stuff. It's not exactly the same. It's the same within 3 foot away, but if you get right up on it, it's not quite the same. But anyway, it's all good stuff though. It's all good. Okay, so there's the completed finished product. And let me say, mine originally had the screws in this right here where the J hook is. And the screw, again, looked exactly like that. And I really believe that probably was original. I think that like this 39 was a transition year, because that was the early style, and they were going over to the rubber in the 40s and the 50s. So I think there was some changes. But I went ahead and installed the J hooks right here. And I believe that, in my opinion, is by far a better way to do it. There's the J hook on the driver's side. And I will tell you, it pulls it in nice and tight. And when it does, it tightens all of that up. And you really need to have your strip as tight as you can get it before that's pulled in, really. I will tell you, the J hook puts a lot of tension on that, and I really don't think that screw that was in it earlier would have actually pulled it in that tight. It did a good job. And I also want to add that on the J hook, it was long enough that what I thought to do was I put a nut on the back side of that, like a real thick washer, so it would take up some space, so the J hook would pull up tight, and I would not run out of threads when I'm putting the little nut on it. So I think it's a good idea to put a little spacer on the back side of that J hook, so it'll pull it in extra deep, so it sets it nice and deep. But as you can see, I felt like it's a good looking installation. It fits it good and tight. Like, it fits it tight. It really anchored it down good. And I don't think there's any issues out of it that I can see, other than my paint, and it's just an old 39 Chevy hot rod truck, and I just brushed it on. So that's just the way it goes. But it will at least afford me the ability to put the hood on it now and not have it beating and banging around. And it'll actually space the hood the way it's supposed to be. So this stuff is some pretty tough stuff. Again, just to give you a little pictorial so you know what you're up against, because I went online and looking, and I struggled to find any information about how to install it. Although it seems straightforward and simple, still, with me being a newbie at this and never doing it, I wanted to have a little video so I give me a little confidence. So anyway, that's how I did it, and I'm happy with it, and I think it looks good for me and my old beater truck. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Get out there and build something, as Hot Rod Dad would say.